I'm Daphne from Daps Makeup, and I am excited because today we are going to be talking about some new products from TirTir. So on my channel, I mainly talk about luxury makeup products for the most part. But I do buy the indie brands. I do buy, I don't just high-end and an occasional drugstore. So I'm not like completely exclusive to luxury, but a lot of times if it's non-luxury, I don't necessarily talk about it on here. But foundation, I feel like no hold bars with that. And, TirTir was something that I was truly excited to talk about last year. And yeah, it was something that clearly was a popular topic. I mean, to this date, it's my most watched video. Like none of my other videos compare to that video where I talked about the TirTir cushion foundation. Because I was just so excited at that time because I had never, ever tried a cushion foundation before. Because generally speaking, cushion foundations are made from Asian brands, typically Korea or Japanese, or from Japan. And generally speaking, they do not make shades for myself. Even when you talk about brands like a Dior or any of those luxury brands, because Dior will come out with cushion foundation. Some other popular known luxury brands come out with cushion foundation, and still they'll come out with 5 shades, and trust me, those 5 shades are all fair shades. They never come out with shades for my skin tone. So when TirTir came out with a range, and I get it, there are still to this day, there are people who still cannot find their shade, so they are certainly not perfect. They still have a lot of ways to go, especially, they are promoting themselves as a global brand, so, we can't use the excuse like, oh, it's a Korean brand. Yeah, but your marketing actually, specifically, you call yourself TirTir Global, you are actually sponsoring content creators who are not from Korea, who are not Korean. You're using content creators who are of my skin tone. So you are specifically marketing to my skin tone. One of my favorite content creators, she is like their brand ambassador. We share the same shade. We are shade twins. So you're clearly marketing to not just an Asian population. So with that being said, you need to continue to expand your shade range. But I am one of the lucky ones where they have my shade. And so I was excited to finally try a cushion foundation, and I loved it. I love it. It was my favorite foundation of 2024. And yeah, I love that. So I love that. You can watch that video, see my excitement. I loved it. Believe it or not, months after when I finished the red cushion, believe it or not, I had bought the pink one. So they have a red, pink, and silver, gray cushion foundation, and I actually bought the pink one. I made a video, but the video got corrupted, and I just gave up, and I decided not to bother refilm it, so I never posted it. So sorry, I never got to put that out for you guys. If you're curious, do I like the red one or the pink one better? I still like the red one better. The red is supposed to be satin, pink is supposed to be more matte, and then the silver one, which I still haven't tried, is supposed to be glowy. I do have a dry skin, so that's probably why I lean more towards the satin red. I do like matte foundations. I tend to buy a lot of liquid matte foundations. I don't hate the pink one, but there's something about that red one that when I put that on, I'm like, ooh. So yeah, I'll finish off the pink one, but in terms of repurchasing a cushion, I would go with the red. Now maybe I'll try maybe one day I'll try the silver one just so that I can try it. And I do have dry skin, so maybe I'll like that glowy foundation. But I think satin actually is my favorite because I actually don't like my complexion to be too glowy. Satin is actually where I like to be, not too glowy. But with my skin tone, it's probably my skin type is probably best not to be too matte. But what are we talking about today? Because it's not about cushions. Sorry for that long intro. What are we actually talking about today? First and foremost, It's the fact that they came out with a liquid foundation. So I already told you, I love their cushion foundation. I love them as a brand just off of that. So I was like, you know what? Let me try their liquid version. They have my shade 43N, Deep Cocoa again. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to go for it. And not only do they have concealer, foundation. I already told you what's next. They have concealer. And what's cool about this concealer is dual-ended. I know. Have you heard of a dual-ended concealer? I don't think I've ever really heard of one before. So you have your traditional liquid concealer, and I'll show you what the doe foot looks like. So it's a little doe foot there. But on the top, so you screw the bottom, but the top one, pull it off because you have this, which looks like a lipstick. I know, it looks like a lipstick. I'll show you the full tube. It looks like a lipstick, but it's not a lipstick. Okay, so don't put this on your lips. I guess you could, but it's a concealer. It's to use to spot conceal, which I think is great because this kind of stick formula is great for spot concealing. The shape is perfect. So I'm like, so that was actually kind of exciting that we have 2 different types of concealers all in one. Easy to travel. The cushion foundation was easy to travel. Well, now they made the concealer dual-ended and easy to travel as well. Now, another motivating factor getting TirTir at this moment, they're having this big sale. I don't know if I can look up how long it's going to be on for. I'll try to put it up here. But they're having a sale, and it's like things are like 40% off. Like everything I think is like 40% off. So you get that off, and then of course there's the whole like buy Sur Mom and you get free shipping, or buy Sur Mom and you get some other free stuff. Well, I fell for that. So one of the things I was able to get, they have lip products as well. So they don't just make foundations and concealers. They have skincare, which we're going to talk about real quick. And they make lip products. And one of the products they make is something called Waterism Glow Tint. They gave me the little mini. I got to pick what shade I wanted. So I got this for free, and I got to pick what shade I wanted. So I picked this shade, number 30, called Mauve Glow. I love a deep purple mauve color, and yes, I have it on my lips here. And then they gave me with this cute little case. I know it might be a little gimmicky or whatever, but it's cute and it was free. So cute, I can hang it on my purse, hang it on my bag. It's cute to travel with. Does it need a little case? I don't know, but hey, it's cute. It was free. I'm gonna take it. And then I also bought one of their skin care items. It's their Milk Skin Toner Light. I've only used this for like 2 days. I just got this product, so I can't. It's skincare. You need to be on months to describe it. Now, let me just actually get this out of the way because the whole discussion is really going to be about the complexion products and a little bit on the lippy. So this is a Milk Skin Toner Light containing niacinamide and chamomile flower extract. Moisturizes and brightens the skin. Use after cleansing, gently apply an appropriate amount on the face in the direction of skin texture. Okay, moisturizing, I can definitely say that. I put it on my face. It's quite moisturizing, and as a dry skin girly, I love this bottle. It's cool. Brightening and like long-term skin effects, I can't tell you. I've only used it 2 times. I don't know. I'd have to use it for months, but you know what? I think in general, milk toners, you can't really go wrong with them. So I can't comment too much, but at least I can tell you that it does feel moisturizing. The bottle is nice. Yeah. So let's talk about complexion. And I'll show you swatches of these. I did post them on Instagram. So you'll see to the left, I swatch the foundation. I show you an initial swatch, and then later I show where I kind of blended it more on my skin and allowed it to oxidize. The middle swatch is the liquid side. So I did a swatch in the middle, and then I even that one I kind of spread it out a little bit more for you. And then the last swatch at the end was the solid side. And so you saw a swatch there. That side didn't need extra blending as far as I was concerned. So those are the swatches of the complexion product. All right, for this lippy, let me just give you a swatch of what this looks like. You see it on my lips, but this is the swatch on against my skin. So I think you can appreciate the color. Try to like blend it in more so you can see it's a tint. So if you really blend it in, it can really just kind of blend into your skin and just give that little bit of a tint. But more importantly, here it is on my lips. So yes, I have all three on my face now. Foundation, concealer, I did use both sides, and the lippy is on my lips now. And yes, I have a demo video so you can see me apply all these products on my face. So you'll see everything, not the milk toner, but you'll see everything else that I bought on my face. So watch this demo video, see the application. And then I'm gonna tell you what I think about the formula. I'll let you know, what do I like better? This foundation or the cushion foundation? What do I really feel about the concealer and both sides? And is there a preference? And what do I think? And I'll also let you know about the lippy, okay? Watch the demo video and I will break down these products for you. All right, so today I am gonna be using two of TirTir's new complexion products, their new liquid foundation and their concealer. I have the foundation in the shade 43N, which is the same shade I use in their cushion foundation. And in their concealer, I'm using their shade 8W. This concealer is very interesting because it's two-ended. On the bottom end, it has a typical liquid foundation, concealer, but at the top end, this bullet form almost looks like a lipstick. I think it's best for spot concealing. So what I'm gonna do is first use this side to spot conceal. Then I'm gonna go in with the foundation and then go in with the liquid concealer after that. So let's just get started. So the TirTir complexion is on. You first saw me spot conceal with this end of the concealer, and I just kind of blended the edges, and it perfectly hid most of my dark spots. Then I went in with the foundation. I first just did one side of my face, I left the other side bare so you could see the comparison. Then I went ahead and did both sides, and then I followed that up with using the liquid side of the concealer in the typical concealer areas, and blended that in. I'm now, you can see what it looks like right now. It's allowed to kind of sit for a few minutes. So it's definitely glowy. You know, I think it gives good full coverage, luminous coverage with the foundation. We'll talk more about the concealer later, but I'm gonna just go ahead and powder my face because that's what I do. Even if I have glowy foundation, I still like to powder everything down. So I'm gonna use my typical powders and then I'll come back and show you it with setting powder on. All right, so I've gone ahead and used setting powder today. I decided to use Huda Beauty's Peach Pie. I have also off camera throughout the week, I've used different under eye powders, but these are all the typical ones that I normally use with all my concealers. In the non-concealer areas, I use Chanel's loose powder. That's what I've been using with all my looks. And then I refresh my face with the Hangover 3-in-1 spray, which I always do. So this is my normal routine, what I do with every concealer foundation that I always use. So this is the final look. So, you know, obviously the powder kind of tamps down some of the glowiness, but it doesn't, you know, but there's still a velvety glow. It's not super dry or matte looking or anything like that. Here's the under eye. All right, so yeah, this final look, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup, and then I'll really give you my final thoughts on these new TirTir complexion products. All right, so my look is essentially complete, except for one major thing we're missing, something on the lips. So just gonna put a little something on the lips from TirTir, the Waterism Glow Tint in the shade Mauve Blush number 30. I got the mini version. It's in this cute little packaging. This is the shade. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my bare lips. Now it's a glow tint, so you have to understand in terms of pigmentation, it's only gonna go so far. But you can see the color. It literally feels like water on my lips. So it just gives a little bit of color. All right, and now my look is complete. All right, I hope you found that demo video helpful. Let me just get the lippy like out of the way real quick, and then we're gonna get into the complexion products. I know what you care about the most, so I'm saving it for last. And these ones are just quicker to talk about. So this Waterism Glow Tint, like I said, actually it wasn't something I initially was planning to get, but who can say no to freebies and discounts? So I'm happy to have tried it. This is the mini version. They do have a full size version, so you can get the full size or the mini. I mean, I guess if you really like these products, especially if you tried them before, you know, and there's a shade you particularly like, go ahead, get the full size. But you might want to go for the mini if this is your first time trying it, because it's half the price. I mean, shoot, you can try 2 of them for the price of 1. So you could try a couple different shades and find out which one you care like the most. And if you're not a big fan of it, you haven't committed to yourself. So it comes in this, it seems like an acrylic maybe packaging. Kind of looks almost like these are like ice cubes. Cute, you know, it says TirTir at the top. Cute little packaging. The color shade and everything's at the bottom. Then you just a twist open action. Nice size doe foot. You know, I felt it was great because it really, I'll just apply it again on my lips, but it just fits perfectly against my lips. So let's just put another application. Why not? So as someone with full lips, I like the size of the doe foot. And so that's another layer, and that's a shade. And there are a lot of shades to choose from, so I'm sure you can find a shade that you will love. I love this kind of a shade. So I love the shade first and foremost. In terms of it, waterism is the perfect word, because when you're putting it on, it feels like water. Like, talk about hydrating. Like, it feels like I'm adding like water to my lips. So very hydrating upon application. It's quite glowy upon application. It's a glow tint, so yes, it gives a hint of color. It's not, like a full coverage matte lipstick, but but it gives a good enough color. You can see the shade and everything. It's a glow tint. It's kind of like, you know, a lip balm or a lip gloss. It's not going to be long lasting like a matte lipstick. So it is something that you will have to reapply as the day goes on. But I do think it fades nicely. But yeah, especially if you eat, you're going to have to reapply. And just in general, just as the day goes on, it slowly fades. So it's not long lasting, but very hydrating, cute color. And I feel like it gives a nice little stain to the lips. It like slowly dissipates. So it goes away quickly, but it does it in a nice way. All right. Cute, you know, good price. And especially right now with everything being 40% off for the price. Yeah. Okay. This is what I really want to talk about. I know this is what you really want to hear about. Let's talk about these complexion products. I actually am going to start with the foundation first. So I won't torture you much longer when we talk about the foundation. Okay. The description is correct. They describe this as a luminous full coverage foundation. Totally agree. I think you could see when you saw me apply it, especially prior to me adding any of the setting powders, it was glowy. So especially if you are dry skin, as moi, you're probably really gonna appreciate it. It's hydrating. It feels great on the skin. Now, I have dry skin, normal to dry skin. I can't talk for my oily skin girls. This probably is not for you, I'm guessing. I don't know. Like, will you have breakthrough? Blah, blah, blah. How does it work after you powder? I don't know because I'm not an oily girl. So, but no, this is definitely a luminous foundation. Now, like I said, I always use setting powder with my foundation because I don't like to look too glowy. So I like that I feel hydrated, but I'm not going to look too glowy. But, you know, obviously I'm not going to look matte either. I do have highlighter on. For those who saw my last video, this is Chanel, one of Chanel's new highlighters. So that's also giving that extra glow on my cheeks. But still, this is definitely a luminous foundation. So yes, especially once you add the powder, it gives more of a satin kind of finish. So it's glowy on its own, and then you can powder it down to give more of a satin kind of finish. Just showing you the complexion again, full coverage. It did give great coverage, easy to apply. I actually do like this foundation. Now, if you're going to ask me this or the cushion foundation. Okay, here, what I'm going to say, I like this. I do. I'm going to use it up. I'm going to use it. By the way, also long lasting. I have to check. I think they advertise it like they do the cushion. I think, because I know the cushion, they would say like, it lasts for 72 hours. Who the hell is wearing this? Any complexion product for 72 hours? But have I fallen asleep, hate to admit it, and like have worn like basically for 24 hours? Yeah, and I'll say it lasts. So we can extrapolate if you really are the person wears it for 72 hours. But if you work long days and wear for 12 hours, yes, it will last, okay? If you are up all night and need it for 24, she gonna last. I'll tell you that much. So yes, long coverage, great long lasting. She's all that. Between this and the cushion, there's something special about the cushion. And it might be, to be honest, like I said, TirTir's cushion is the only cushion foundation I have ever tried in my life. So I have nothing like that. Like, I own a lot of liquid foundations. This is good. This is comparable to a lot of liquid foundations I already own. So it's great. It's good. Cushion foundation, because for me, I don't own any other cushions. So that was an experience in it of itself that nothing compares. Cushion is special. Cushion foundations are special. That TirTir cushion foundation was special because not only did it give me long wearing satin full coverage, but it really felt, when they say weightless, it felt like I was wearing nothing. And I'm not saying that this is super heavy or anything like that, but when we say like weightless, that cushion, I felt like I was not wearing anything. It was the thinnest form of a foundation I've ever put on, but still gave me coverage. Like, it felt like I'm putting on a skin tint, but it was still a full coverage foundation. That was just like, wow. It's just an experience I've never had before. I loved the finish. The packaging was great for traveling. So I really like the cushion, you know. Like I said, I haven't tried any other cushions because I just haven't had the opportunity yet. So I can't tell you if it's the best cushion foundation. I don't know, because I've only tried one. But like would I repurchase? I would not have a problem repurchasing this, but at the same time, you know, between the two, I probably would go back and repurchase the cushion just because it's something so unique to my collection. But am I mad that I got this? Not at all. I think this is actually an excellent foundation. I will wear this out. So I will empty the bottle. So that's like not even the question. So is it a foundation? It is good. So I think especially if you are dry skin, girly, normal to dry, then I think you will fully enjoy this product. Oily skin girls, beware, because yeah, it's glowy. So you need to talk to an oily skin creator who's willing to try it to let you know if it's suitable for y'all. Lastly, let's talk about this concealer. I gotta give it up to just the uniqueness to have the two sides. It's not the first time having a spot concealer, not the first time having liquid concealer, but I haven't really seen where you get both all in one, you know, package. And so that's nice. And I find that unique and unit. So I think that's really cool. Okay, let me talk about the formula. Actually, let me start with this. Because actually, it's probably my favorite part. Actually, I think this is cool. You know, I have a lot of liquid foundations, but I don't have too many spot concealers. Ones that I would just use for that. I used it, you know, today underneath with the full coverage foundation. This is not necessary, but I did it for you guys just so you could see it on my bare skin. But I think this is great for the days where I'm rushing out of the house. I'm choosing not to wear foundation, but it's great to just spot conceal. I can just easily apply to those areas, kind of brush out the edges just to make sure things look blended. And I can run out the door with no foundation and not feel bad. So all my acne, hyperpigmented dark spots can be covered up. It was pretty good. It covered up all my spots, except there was one over here. You could tell that one was harder for me to cover up. Because spot concealers do tend to be more of a light coverage. It does come off very natural. So I added extra layer for that one. But I find that also with other spot concealers. So this one, the blemish I have here is very tough to cover up. It did a fantastic job with the rest of them. But overall, I like this a lot. I think it works great. This is a great shade for me. As you can see, this shade is darker than the shade, and I think that's actually a good thing. Perfect shade to use for spot concealing, and then perfect shade to use for more brightening. So I like the shade choices. So this is great. I'm definitely going to be using this side a lot because yeah, this fills a definite hole in my collection. So I'm really happy to have this side. This side. I'm not saying I hate it or anything like that. What I will say is just, you know, the coverage, you know, where the foundation is like full coverage, this is more like light to medium. It's all right. It blends fine. Everything was fine. I obviously used it today. You know, and luckily I'm someone who doesn't have like really bad, deep, dark circles. So it's not a big deal. But, you know, I could use still a little bit more coverage. You know, and especially when I'm pairing it with a full coverage foundation, this concealer is not quite hanging with this one, you know? And I just need these to be on the same level. You know what I mean? I need the coverage to be on the same level. I need the vibes to be on the same level, and we're not. We're full coverage here, and then we're going light here. And so when I put these together, I'm trying to do full glam, and, you know, now, what I haven't done, because I've only had this for a couple of days, okay? What I haven't done and what I should do next is, use this on like a skin tint. Let me go light coverage. Let me get a light coverage foundation and pair it with this. And then I probably would appreciate this more. I need to break out my medium to full coverage concealers that I already love and use it with this. I purposely, was trying to keep a TirTir together. But I think maybe going forward, I'm going to mix and match because I don't feel like these two go together. Hey, the fact that they, went with the light cover spot concealer on this side, yeah, I get it. The vibe of this concealer as a whole is more for light coverage. And I'm all right with that, I guess. But just not with this foundation. So right now I'm really loving the foundation. I'm really appreciating the spot concealer. I might be a little bit disappointed with this concealer. It's thin. It's thin, like she's a thick girl and then this one, she's thin. But like I said, I might end up appreciating this more when I start using it more on its own with lighter coverage foundations. So with time, I might actually really come around to this, but I need more time. And although this is not quite a first impression video, it kind of almost is. So I think I need more time with this to fully judge it. I just don't think these are a good pair together. I think they will be better separate. I would definitely recommend, if you aren't already subscribed to my Instagram, Daps_makeup, this is the time to do it because I'll probably in the next day or so, go ahead, use this with a light coverage skin tint, light coverage foundation, pair it, and then update you guys on Instagram because that's where I'm the most active. I'll probably update on Instagram what I'm thinking about the concealer. I'll eventually try to say something to you guys here on YouTube, but I'm going to be moving on to the next new product that comes in my collection. If it sounds right, I'll kind of slip it in maybe, or maybe I'll when I'm doing a demo video of another product, I'll use it with you guys and kind of update you then. I just did my 6-month review. So I just gave you the update on everything I bought in the last 6 months. At the end of the year, I'll do the same, but I know that's like 6 months away. I'll try to update you guys at some point, hopefully here on YouTube, but I'll certainly will on Instagram, so follow me there. But if you haven't already subscribed to my channel and you've gotten this far, consider subscribing to my channel. But either way, I'm just hoping that you have a great day, and we are going to end here. So I'm just going to say to you, bye.